Well, actually, a favorite composition would be the Dvorak concerto. It's just the most complete piece written for cello and orchestra. I mean, I love the Bach suites, but for a big piece, and the piece I played most often in my life is definitely the Dvorak concerto. It's just pure joy to play it, and the orchestra sounds beautiful, and cello part sounds more difficult than it actually is, so it's fun to play. The first time I played all the Bach suites was at an alternative performance venue in Berlin. And there were many people who never had listened to a concert, and they all liked it very much. So I was shocked, because I thought for Bach's music you have to have some kind of idea about music, but you don't. Bach's music connects with the people very well, so I thought then I could do something and bring the people out to people who don't want to come into the concert hall at all. So one day in Berlin I saw this little music festival at the Berlin train station. I thought, oh, that's actually nice, I could play Bach. And then I thought of doing a tour through all of Germany and jumping off the train and playing Bach suites, and that actually worked very well. And I was all by myself. I carried the amplifier. There had to be some amplification, and it was sometimes beautiful. Sometimes the stations were not so good, and then people just walked by. But sometimes there was an audience, like 200-300 people, and it created the station into a concert hall. I just came from Portland, where I was the artist in residence, and there I did tons of stuff. I played in a mall, I played in a juvenile detention center, and I played at a center for abused boys, which was one of the most touching experiences. They all had an IQ of 80, 90. They were all kids of mothers with huge drug problems, and they listened with so much tenderness and care, and we talked afterwards, and what they said was very moving. I've never had so much incredible feedback after playing Bach for anybody. So that was one of the most beautiful things, and I want to do that much more often.
Well, this program is quite interesting. I had the idea of the core was Janáček, the Sinfonietta, which is a piece since I was a child, was one of my favorite works. And it's a piece that is so difficult to program because of the challenges in the orchestration. There are 25 brass players in this work, so it's an extra brass choir in addition to the orchestra. And we're so fortunate to have the students from the Academy here who are joining us. These are young, brilliant students. So, I mean, since I've been a professional conductor, I've been trying and asking every orchestra, can we please do the Janáček Sinfonietta? So a year ago, when I proposed it to this orchestra, of course, let's do it. Oh, I always feel tremendous enthusiasm, but that's because of the quality of the orchestra. I mean, it's such a wonderful orchestra, and I feel that when the audience is engaged with what's happening on the stage, then there's always a joy. It's not unusual for when, let's say, a work is new, a modern work, for example, they might at first be tentative and unsure of what's happening, but it's always an adventure, and it's very important that we play all sorts of music for them. But surely a piece like the Dvorak Cello Concerto is a piece that audiences love, so when it's well played, then